Hey everybody, Coach Ted back here with our virtual training. I wanted to go over a couple of more advanced wall ball techniques. I know that when you're doing wall ball every day or multiple times a week, it can get a little mundane, it can get a little boring, and hopefully some of the basic ones that we've gone over, you're starting to get better at those and you're starting to become so good at it that you're not really thinking about it. That's what we really want to happen with wall ball, is that it starts to become sort of second nature and you can just do it without really thinking about catching the ball or doing the skills. I wanted to go through sort of kind of a more advanced or like a phase 2 of wall ball just to keep challenging yourself. The first one that we're going to do is a behind the back pass. Now, behind the back is going over, if I'm a right-handed player, it's going to go over my left shoulder, okay? So what we want to be doing is turning our hips so our number on our jersey or our back is pointed at our target, and then instead of pushing with the top hand, we're going to push with the bottom hand and then throw that ball right over our neck, right over our shoulder. As you can see, when I was doing that, I was sliding my hands a little closer together so that I could get that wrist snap that we're not going to get if our hands are really close together. I'll do it again real quick so you can see it. So I'm starting right here. My hands are kind of in a normal position, but as I go, I'm sliding my hands down so I can flick my wrists, right, and push with that bottom hand. The next drill in our advanced wall ball is called an around the world. So what an around the world is, instead of just turning and pushing and throwing it over our opposite shoulder, we're going to go turn the other way and go all the way around our body and pull with this top hand, push with this bottom hand, so it goes around the shoulder of the hand that we're throwing with. So I'm throwing righty, it's going to go all the way around my right shoulder. As you can see, it's a little bit more difficult. A couple of them I missed. It's a little bit harder to get that wrist snap, but I'm turning and I'm getting my hips engaged, bringing my stick. I keep my hands out away from my body so that I can throw that pass. That one's going to be a little bit more difficult than the first one of just going straight behind the back. The next drill in our phase 2 of wall ball is what I like to call wristers. But I'm kind of relating it to is a wrist shot or a snapshot in hockey, where you're not winding up. You don't have your stick all the way back here and throwing a normal pass. You're just throwing from your hip and using your wrist, snapping that top wrist and pushing this bottom hand in to snap the ball out of your stick, right? And you're coming from more of a sidearm or an underhand release point. This is a great warm-up drill, especially like before a game if you can get a partner and get those wristers going, because it really starts to engage that wrist snap. Whether you're throwing an overhand pass, taking a step down shot, or just throwing a little sidearm wrister here, having that quick wrist snap and having that wrist snap is going to be effective and be really critical in all the skills that you're doing. So this is a drill just to isolate that wrist action so that you can get it down when you go with more of your overhand passes. Again, this drill, this type of pass, it could have application in a game. You could pick up a ground ball and maybe not have an ability to get your hands up and free, and you can just throw a pass from here. Probably not something that you want to do every time. You don't want to always be throwing passes from a low point. You want to have good fundamentals, throwing over the top and being consistent with your passing. But sometimes you might have to throw and adjust your release point. Whether you're picking up a ground ball, you might have a defender coming out at you and you can't throw overhand. You could throw sidearm, wrister around them. So I'm going to do it here. You might want to stand a little farther back than you're normally used to, but again, it's just a drill to isolate that wrist snap. just so you can kind of see it from the other angle here, from my other side here. You notice I'm dropping my hands are coming close together. I'm still at my left foot pointed at the cage, my left shoulder at the wall, my left shoulder pointed at the wall, but instead of stepping and going straight overhand, I'm dropping and I'm just snapping my wrist from this low release point. And again, great warm-up drill, because that wrist snap will lead into, again, normal overhand passing, shooting. Everything in lacrosse is about that wrist snap. So you're just here, you can start to move a little farther back and really crank it if you want to, okay? But the big thing is just getting that quick snap of the wrist with your top hand. You know, doing this will be a lot more difficult on your offhand, mainly just because, you know, you're probably not used to playing offhand down here. Alright, but for sure on your strong hand, get that wrist snap going with the wristers. The next drill in our advanced wall ball is what I call backhand throws or Canadian throws. So what I'm going to do is be in my normal throwing position, but I'm going to bring my stick to the other side, and I'm going to throw, and I'm going to flick my wrist backwards, right? And I'm throwing from my left shoulder, but I did not switch to my left hand being on top. All right, so I'm just bringing it home. And if that's awkward to you, just throw a face dodge, and now you're into that Canadian position. And again, you're just throwing off the wall, you're here. You can catch it on your normal shoulder and bring it over here and throw every time. Or you catch it on this backhand here and just stay on this backhand without necessarily bringing it all the way back. Alright, so again, you're just backhand throws, Canadian throws. You can do that on both hands. Alright, a little bit harder on your offhand, at least for me. Alright, hopefully, if you're a high-level player, you want to be a high-level player, you can throw these both hands, all these shows both hands. One thing that you can do if it's hard at first is choke up a little bit on your stick. So bring that bottom hand up, bring that top hand down, work from the middle of the stick, and it shortens that stick and it gives you a little bit more control so that you can take control and have a little more feel with the ball. The next drill in our advanced wall ball series is what I call face to flip or face to shovel pass. So we're going to work on throwing a face dodge and then throwing that backhand shovel pass out of that face dodge. You don't necessarily have to do a face dodge every time, but it's a really great way to get into this shovel pass. So a shovel pass is almost a back, we did work the wristers from this side, from our strong side. A shovel pass would be a backhand wrister from our off side. All right, so we start with that face dodge. It allows me to turn my body. Now I'm right-handed still, but my right foot is pointed at my target, not my left foot. Okay? So I'm here, turn, step with my right foot, and I flip that ball with my backhand. I'm throwing a shovel. So face to flip or face to shovel pass. Again, you can do this right and left. Now my left foot is pointed at the wall because I'm throwing lefty. I face and I flip. Face, flip, face, shovel pass. A flip pass, a shovel pass, same thing. Notice how I turn my top wrist over. That's really key. If I don't turn my wrist over, now I can't throw the shovel pass because I can't snap my wrist backward. Okay, so I'm face dodging, my wrist turns over, my bottom hand turns over, and that allows me to flip the ball with a snap out of my stick. Face to flip. Righty, lefty, a great move to have in your arsenal for the field players. If you're a box player, you probably are already doing this. You know, the face dodge is really, really popular in the box game where you're face dodging, you can't switch hands, you flip pass out of that to a cutter, to an open player, maybe even to a shovel shot. So that shovel pass can even become more of a shovel shot, and you can put a little bit more pace on it. Again, that's something we can do in another video, working on those different types of shots, but just learning how to throw the ball from different release points, especially this backhand shovel pass release point, is a really great skill to have and allow you to make plays even when you can't get your hands free or back up to this triple threat position. The last drill in this advanced wall ball series is what I like to call bouncers. A bouncer is now the ball is going to hit the turf first, or the ground first, hit the wall, and then come back up to your stick. So it's going to go ground, wall, stick, ground, wall, stick. There's a second variation, and we'll walk through that one first, and then we'll go to the second one, which is wall, ground, stick. But we're going to start with ground, wall, stick. So you're going to step back a little bit, and you're going to throw, and you're going to hit the wall and catch it off the, or you're going to hit the ground with your pass, and then it skips off the wall, and you catch it. All right, so it's just going to bounce, turf, wall, stick. And as you can see, what makes this more advanced is that you never know really where that ball is coming. It can take pretty funny bounces. Right? You can kind of work on some sidearm passes too, off the ball. One thing you don't want to do is throw straight down because the ball is straight up in the air. You want to throw it at an angle. So that's what makes this a little bit more advanced is the catching part of it. Because it's not just going to be a straight pass back to your stick. Sometimes it can bounce high, sometimes it can bounce low. And notice how if I can get it to wedge right in there, it will come back right to my stick. If I'm a little early, it bounces higher. If I'm late, then it will hit the wall first. So then the second piece of these bouncers is hitting the wall first and then letting it hit the ground and then catching it off the ground. And what makes this more of an advanced skill is when that ball hits the ground, it's going to have spin on it. The spin makes it a lot harder to catch, and if you don't have soft hands, that ball's going to pop out. So what you're going to do in this one is throw down so it hits the wall, and then it comes off the ground into your stick. So wall, ground, stick. And you can really challenge yourself on this one to catch it and to really throw hard. And if you want to, make this even harder, put some spin on it to try to kind of challenge yourself and trick yourself, and it makes it a little bit harder to catch it because, again, you don't know how it's going to spin when it comes off the turf. And this is a great wall ball drill game that you can play with a friend. If you have a friend that you're doing wall ball with, instead of both of you guys or girls just playing catch with yourself, get one ball between two people and then have somebody throw it off the wall, off the turf. The other person has to catch it, all right? So I would throw it off that ball and my partner would have to try to catch it. And you can make it fun, like for points. So like if I throw it off the wall, it skips, and my partner isn't able to handle the ball, that might be a point for me, and we play to 5 for a push-up or or whatever. Just don't go crazy, but put something on the line so it makes it kind of like real-world ground balls off that skip where you have to handle it. So again, ground, wall, stick, and then wall, ground, stick. A couple different ways to catch passes off the bounce.